And so then stand-up kind of went through the same thing where it started to form into like this stand-up group or this group or a comic is this. And I thought, Jesus, it's the same shit where it starts to get too self-important. And I think ultimately comedy is a big tent. You can go real cerebral or you can be physical. It doesn't matter. It's just, there's nothing that you know, prestigious or like a stamp of approval about it.
Yeah, I agree. It's gotten to that place recently. There's been like kind of like infighting. I don't know if it's infighting.
It's like rappers now,
yeah, it is
right?
kind of.
It's so silly.
But everybody's afraid to kill each other.
It's weird, right? It's just so stupid.
So I'm just saying we we need a Tupac and Biggie we need somebody.
Got to go real bad to get good.
Yeah.
Or it's just got to stop.
Or it's
silly.
But it is silly.
It's silly, bro.
Well, a lot of it got political too, I think. Politics came into stuff. I think has happened a lot over the past few years with people like attaching themselves, like heavily attaching themselves to politics.
Which is part of the job because you're going to talk about current events.
Right, but to attach yourself
but you don't want to become part of a group and feel like you're a champion for one ideology. You want to make fun of everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's happened more over the past few years, but it's always been that, well, it was, for a long time, it was like, you know, Hollywood is pretty much overly kind of a liberal place.
Yeah.
And so you would have.
But not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more like we're smart and got it figured out. And if you don't agree,
then you're
an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's true.
It's
more elitist.
Not liberal in the way that.
I think that also colleges have taken that same approach, like Harvard and all the, you know, big universities. They basically feel the exact same way because whenever the election happened and they put the stats out that more people with college degrees voted for Kamala, they were like, well, the rest of y'all are so stupid.
What he's saying right now kind of reminds me of the Drewski skit. I'm not going to say how I feel about it, but it reminds me of it. Like, it reminds me of it because it's like people are on one aisle saying it's funny, and then on another aisle, people are very upset about it. So it's like he's saying comedy really don't have no limits to it.
It never has. I mean, once you start putting like a limit on who can be joked on and who's not, like it's a problem. And it's interesting because we on the right, well, I won't say we on the right, but people on the right have expressed that, oh, comedy is getting too woke. We're trying to say what we can and can't joke about. And now somebody on the right, a big prominent figure on the right is getting joked on. Now everybody has a problem with it. We went from saying comedy has no limits to trying to put limits on it. It's okay when we're in favor of something, but as soon as it flips back on us and we don't like it, it's a problem. It's like you're no better than the people you criticize.
Yeah, it's kind of made me thinking about the George Floyd thing. Like, some people think that shit's super funny.
People always play about George Floyd, so you can't play about George Floyd and then they play on you. That's just like in the 6th grade, I said the old mama joke to a kid because he said one to me first, and then he said my mom died. I said, damn.
Yeah, that literally.
But he said one to me, so what was I supposed to do? What did he expect for me to do?
So that's true.
It's
more elitist.
Not liberal in the way that we think, where it's like, hey, it's all groovy.
Right. Yeah, it's not liberal like a hippie with a joint.
No, man, no.
Maybe
that's pursuit of happiness. That's cool. Whatever makes you happy, bro. Right, that's cool.
Maybe it was at one point, though, I think.
I don't know.
But it's definitely got more of an elitist take, like this is our way or the highway.
I think it's changing now.
Well, do you think it's dissolving now, or do you think it's just spacing out more now? Like,
that's an interesting conversation too, because I hear this from the different groups too. I do think that there's less control in some ways, but I also think that they put themselves in a corner with trying to please everybody. You know, you're going to catch pneumonia. You're trying to please everybody. So that's like that old Vaughn quote. So, yes, I think there was more of a stranglehold with ideas, but there's always been people who feel differently within that. It's like any group, I guess. But yeah, I think what we're saying is similar, that it was never really a place where within individuals and friends, and we could always disagree and we always joke with each other. People my age, I disagree, agree, and we'd change our minds, we'd laugh, we'd joke. But there was definitely a culture that if you didn't agree with these ideas, you were looked at as bad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Hollywood got more political. I don't know if it got more political.
No, they got rewarded for it. Yeah, they started to come out there and do it. And I don't even know how much everyone even is informed on everything.
Yeah.
But they really like to get out there and do it.
Oh, yeah.
See, that is what, like he said, he feels like it's less control now. I feel like Jimmy Kimmel and all these stand-up people that do these late-night talk shows, if they can control that agenda that Trump is bad, then it's kind of like it's a norm that Trump is bad. If everybody on late night shows say Trump is bad, then to everybody, he's going to be bad.
But I think in the way that it's changed the other way is because of the rise of independent media and people really saying what they truly feel. That's why it's not as controversial anymore to say that you rock with Trump as it was before. But I do still think with Hollywood specifically, it's definitely still like controlled and political. Cause like I saw something, I forgot what movie it was, but it couldn't win any awards because it didn't have enough like diversity and it didn't have like a gay person and it didn't meet these standards. So like if you're
That's
giving
crazy.
people, who make movies awards for pushing a certain narrative, then it's still very political in Hollywood.
Well, it is very political in Hollywood and I think the greatest example of that is like Timothée Chalamet recently made some comments about opera and ballet that was poorly received by people in the arts, and his movie Marty Supreme was on all money markets projected to win a bunch of Oscars, and after he made those comments, they lost all 7 Oscar nominations.
What did he say?
Basically saying he doesn't want to do things in favor of opera and ballet because no one cares about it. Basically saying like he didn't want to put movies in the same category as them because people don't really care about them. And he's like, just kidding. I just lost 10 cents in ad revenue or something like that. And people got mad. And
See, people are woke, man.
yeah, he was actually supposed to beat Michael B. Jordan for the Oscar. And after he said that, Michael B. Jordan beat him.
That's crazy. Because, I mean, we played a sport that if someone made that same joke about, that is a little bit true.
Yeah, it's like
That is true.
It's like, I don't want to do, like if I was a football player or a basketball player and they say, I don't want to do a sport that people don't care about, why would I be mad about that?
Yeah, it's an opinion.
The facts are there.
I mean, I run track and I'm very well aware no one cares about track. I don't do it for nobody else. You're supposed to do it for yourself or for God or for your family or something. There was a time when nicotine wasn't dressed up in neon packaging and empty promises. It was simple, intentional, used by builders and thinkers, men who showed up, got the job done. Somewhere along the way, the standard slipped. Big tobacco sold convenience over character and compromise over quality. Nicnac is raising the bar again. This is nicotine perfected, honest and intentional. Manufactured right here in the USA by a family-owned company that refuses to cut corners.
Nicnac is a fully dissolvable nicotine lozenge, a lip brick, made with just 6 premium ingredients. Clearly listed on the back, no smoke, no pouch, nothing hidden. You know exactly what's in it. Made with real essential oil for clean, bold flavor and available in both 3 and 6 milligram options so you can choose what works for you.
So go to Nicnac.com/Cartier and use the code Cartier for 20% off, or use the store locator to find Nicnacs near you. That's Nicnac.com/Cartier and use the code Cartier. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
People will speak on one thing, but there'll be another topic that's way bigger.
And they're hypocrites too,
Yeah.
a lot of times. Like anybody is.
Oh, for sure, dude. I
Like
think
you'll
I'm
be
a
like, I
hypocrite.
feel strong about this, but it's a strange thing when you start going like you know better than someone.
Yeah.
That's when
weird.
that's when it gets weird. It's one thing to say this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then hear someone else's point of view and disagree or agree. It's another thing to be like, I'm so right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna help you or condescend to you. That's the part that no one wants to hang out with that. Yeah, so it got to
Or
that.
my agent is right, and so this, I'm gonna have to tell you what they think. That's also another, that happens
Say
a lot
that
too.
again.
Where people are like, feel like they have to think how their agents or managers, you know what I'm saying? Where they feel pressured to think a certain
Well,
way.
that's terrible, and that happens. But that's the problem if you're going through life trying to check boxes, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Like, let me get the broom. Let me do this. What is the wizard? You're not thinking for yourself. You're just trying to do the things you're supposed to. But it's always better if you get quiet and do what's in your heart and do what you think is right. That's when
Yeah.
you carve out stuff and make your own path.
And probably the best stuff and get the best stuff out of you, even creatively.
100%. And have the courage, I think, to be honest, try to be, and go out. That's the problem I think that happened with film comedies, and that's why I think stand-up got stronger, is stand-ups would it was easier to give someone money for a special and say, we're gonna knock, that's their special. But the studios weren't gonna produce a comedy and have more of, be more responsible for supporting the making of that film.
Oh, I see. So you're saying with a stand-up special, they can just put this as their thing?
That's their thing. We're out of it. We're just
Right.
hiring a special. But the truth is, most people, they want to laugh. They don't want to see stuff be precious that you can't talk or joke about.
Oh,
most people
for
can make
sure.
fun of themselves. In the real world, if you don't have a sense of humor about yourself, then it's a lonely experience. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. Or you can look back at stuff that you believed so strongly a few years ago and laugh about it. So I think you got to have that quality. And comedy is that, being able to laugh at stuff. And I think that it was easier then to go, okay, well, we're going to just have a stand-up, and that's their point of view, than it was to, they got too complicated not to offend anybody with going and making a movie.
Right.
They were trying so hard not to offend anybody.
Well, I think it's why.
Does that make sense?
For sure it does. I think it's one of the reasons why, like, I've seen a lot of the late shows have struggled.
Oh,
because
bro.
all they did during, like,
Bro.
all they did, the only person they could make fun of at a
Bro.
certain point was just like white redneck kind of people, and it fucking tanked, and then everything tanked after that.
Think about that. But see, they never get it right. The podcasts have gotten so much more popular with less production, less writers, less staff. And the reason why
we have two people working here, and both of them are hungover. One guy has shingles.
but the place is clean. I like that. You keep it clean.
Thank you. Yeah, we did a vacuum.
But yeah, because people want authenticity.
Yeah.
And I think that the talk shows.
So this place is clean. Thank you. We did vacuum.
Yeah, and that Vince Vaughn, what he just said, people want authenticity. I think people are taking authenticity over quality production these days. I mean, it's exactly what they're talking about. That's why y'all come to the Cartier family for stuff, because we say what we truly believe.
Yeah, like he said, like Theo said, he feels like he contradicts himself all the time. I feel like I do too.
But it's true. It's you though.
I really feel
you're not
like,
playing a character.
I really feel like that's the human experience though, because it's like you might say something in 1 minute and then your opinions and your brain and your thoughts might change, and you might say something a few days later because you've got new information and it changed and you contradicted your statement you may have made previously. I mean, but that's just the human experience, because it's like, I mean, yeah, that's just life, like when new information or data or whatever comes available to you and it changes your opinion, I feel like that's how you grow.
And that's what the media fails to do.
If that's not happening, then you're not growing.
They're sticking on one point. Like Jimmy Kimmel, all those people filing, they're sticking on one thing, and that's what they're going with. They're never going to say, actually, Trump was right. They're never going to say that. I don't care if it's 15 years down the line. They're not going to say it unless everything changes.
I mean, I really wouldn't even say that. I just think we know who signs their checks, and they're just so set in their ways of spitting this narrative and being on this side, because in their industry and in the Hollywood bubble, it's a big virtue signaling party and who trying to self-righteous, and there's a pride and holier than thou. So whether or not they agree with it or not, in that industry, they're going to push a narrative. And I think at some point, as Vince Vaughn is trying to say, people realize that's not authentic. When you have all the same talk shows or all different talk shows saying the same things in different ways, it's like, at what point do we know that you actually believe what you're saying? Yeah. And I think that's really what he's saying.
I actually seen an insane video. I forgot who was it about. I don't know if it was Rockefeller or something. I don't know. It was like the first billionaire in America or something like that. And it was saying like how they tried to make America and the people in America non-thinkers. They forced everybody to just be, workers, and not think outside the box. So that's what it is right here with the media. They just want you to think a certain way, and they want everybody to be robots.
Yeah.
The reason why
we have two people working here, and both of them are hungover.
That's also proves why YouTube wanted to demonetize everybody for just thinking freely.
They're trying to control the narrative.
We got all the facts here.
That's another thing that I'm starting to notice. Like it's almost like certain corporations, they're trying to control the narrative. And when you have a platform like YouTube where people can speak freely and say thoughts freely and be authentically free and say what they think, they try to do things and penalize people because they couldn't control the narrative. And you know what I think they did that for? The people who paid for COVID shots to be where they are probably paid for companies and platforms to not let people speak against them.
100%. Mark Zuckerberg himself said that they were told by the administration to sway things to one side.
We have the facts.
The man who owns the company said it.
The funniest thing is when they said X is a white supremacist pushing one side of the narrative platform.
And it used to literally be the opposite.
I said, I'm seeing everybody's thoughts.
That's both.
Without being canceled at all. This is the first time I've ever seen this. Yeah, man, these people, it's sick.
The podcasts have gotten so much more popular with less production, less writers, less staff. And the reason why
we have two people working here, and both of them are hungover. And one guy has shingles.
But the place is clean. I like that. You keep a clean place.
Thank you. Yeah, we did a vacuum.
But yeah, because people want authenticity.
Yeah.
And I think that the talk shows, to a large part, became really agenda based.
Yeah.
They were going to evangelical people to what they thought. You know what I mean? And so people just rejected it because it didn't feel authentic. It felt like they had an agenda. It stopped being funny, and it started feeling like I was in fucking a class I didn't want to take.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
I'm getting scolded. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so I think that's the
crazy.
phenomenon isn't what they say. They always blame technology. But the reality is it's the approach. You know, someone could go watch a stand-up at Madison Square Garden and they want to go because it feels dangerous. The crowd is alive. I don't know what Theo's going to do or say, and I love taking that experience, so it's fun. I don't want to stay home and watch it on a TV because I want to experience that live.
Right. And I want it pure.
That's where you're coming from. That's the main point. And I think people are going to tune into a podcast more so because they want to feel like people are having a real conversation. It's interesting to them. But if you look at what happened to the talk shows and why their ratings are low, it's got only to do with the fact of what you just said, which is they all became the same show.
Yeah.
And they all became so about their politics and who's good and who's bad. And it's like, imagine sitting next to someone like that on a fucking plane.
Oh.
Bro, you'd be like, how do I get out of this fucking seat?
I would fart right next to
Holy
him.
cow. You fart your way out of it.
Yeah, dude, I would. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they just explained why the Cartier family is where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually it's really refreshing to see that we're not crazy to see that these people are living in a bubble saying the same things 100 different ways, but it's ultimately the same thing. It's who's good and who's bad. Constant virtue signaling, politics, when people used to watch late night shows to get laughs and find enjoyment, and now it's all politics and ripping on people and calling people dumb and I'm better than now and who da 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 da. It's like no wonder these shows are getting canceled and people are losing their platforms.
I think it's
like-
just people can see through it and they're like, either they were paid to say that or do they really believe that? We have no idea.
Well, when everyone in the same industry is saying the same thing 100 different ways, it's easy to answer those questions. It's easy.
Yeah, and it's just weird that it's not a late night talk show comedian as big as Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel that agrees with Trump. It's weird.
Greg Gutfeld.
He's on Fox.
But it's not. That's not the same.
He's a late night
bro.
talk show host.
He's on
Yeah,
Fox.
but it's not the
Yeah.
same as Fox. Like, I mean, we got CNN, okay, Fox CNN. But then it's just all these other, we don't have anybody on the right. And then we get on YouTube, the left, Democrats are having the most views. It's like the streamers, some streamers, you know, they kind of have their own mindset, but it's the popular take to just go lean left. You
It
know,
is.
I seen a clip the other day when Constantine said about Charlie Kirk. He was like, is that the guy with the crazy takes? I feel like he just said that because that's the popular thing to say. But it's like, why is it popular if Trump won the election? Is it because these people are just controlling the internet? Because it's like, it's people on the right that we should have just as much views as the people on the left.
I think it's more popular among the young people to be on the left and for the older people to be on the right. But it's swinging because there's more younger people than ever that voted Republican. But I just think for our age, like if you meet, especially our demographic, a younger black person, you know, kind of the circles we're in, you know what typically they'll swing.
I just feel like the right is popular. I don't understand.
I mean,
we see
they
that
won the
with
vote. They won
Turning
the popular
Point.
vote.
See that with Turning Point, though.
Yeah, it's just like all the people on the right, you can't be as loud about it most of the time because you'll get scrutiny. You remember whenever, I forgot who was it.
Or
who
they
said
just
that.
don't promote it, bro.
But you can't
They don't promote it.
It's because you get scrutinized for being on the right. That's why they don't. I remember I was watching the Pat McAfee show and they were laughing and they were like, "So who you voting for this November?" And they all started busting out laughing because nobody would say it. And then somebody reacted to it and they're like, "Yeah, if you didn't make if you didn't make an endorsement, you made an endorsement." It was Shane Gillis who said it because you know you can't if it's on the right.
Well, yeah, I guess we do got Shane Gillis.
So they're just quieter.
Well, they're not putting money behind the right, you know, because Shane Gillis could have a cool late night talk show like Jimmy Fallon, and that should be absolutely insane.
They let them do the ESPN awards.
They're not going to put money behind it. Who knows? Well, the elite's not. We know why. But we're out of here, guys. Let's know what y'all think.